afternoon, hockey fans, and welcome inside the Kinplex in sunny southern Alberta, Medicine Hat, Alberta, the site of our contest today between the Medicine Hat Cubs and the Coaldale Copperheads, a South Division matchup here in the Heritage Junior Hockey League. These two teams, no strangers to each other. The Coaldale Copperheads, the Cubs' closest geographical opponent, so no love lost between these two teams. It could get rowdy at times. We could see a few penalties, but nonetheless, we expect some very good hockey between these two clubs. The Cubs make their way onto the ice right now, coming into this one with a 21-5-4 record, good for 46 points and second place in the South Division of the HJHL. Across from them, the Coaldale Copperheads coming in at 22-8-2, also with 46 points. However, that puts them in third spot as the Cubs have 2 games in hand. Every game in the second half of the HJHL season is against a South Division opponent for the Cubs, so pretty much every one of these contests has that 4-point feel to them. Every one of them has that playoff feel, and we expect this one to be no different. Cubs sporting a 7-2-1 record over their last 10 games. Meanwhile, the Copperheads coming in 5-4-1 over their last 10, so they'll be looking for a little bit of consistency to close out the season here in the stretch run. We're into the final 6 games or so for each of these teams. All right, so between the pipes, getting the start for the Cubs, Tyler Wakelam, the Medicine Hat product, a rookie. He's been a revelation for the club, sporting a 9-3-0-2 record, third in the league with a 1.87 goals against average, and first actually in save percentage, sporting a 9.31 save percentage. So expect some high-end play from Tyler Wakelam between the pipes for the Cubs. And across the way from him, the Coaldale Copperheads responding with Caden Fulton. He comes in with an 11-4-0 record, a 3.34 goals against average, and a .897 save percentage, so no slouch in that department either. We'll pause for the Canadian National Anthem. Well, all right, the National Anthem is complete. The formalities are out of the way, and we are set for what is sure to be an entertaining afternoon of hockey between the Medicine Hat Cubs and the Coaldale Copperheads. Getting the start on the back end for the Cubs, rookie defenseman Hayden King, and he's joined by longtime standout and alternate captain Jamal Shaw. Jamal, one of the hardest hitters in the HJHL, and he puts up a fair amount of points as well. Joining them up front, right wing and foremost product Jared Hardy, and Josh Dreffs, the Medicine Hat product, and Darnell Glasgow, also an alternate captain, a very heavy hitter, hard to knock off his feet. This line that the Cubs often start is a real rugged line, one that really sets the tone for this team. They put up their points, but man, do they lead by example with the work ethic. And the puck is dropped. Back with it now, Huguenon in the Copperhead zone, dumped down the ice, and an early icing call here to kick off the game. Another good crowd on hand here in the Kinplex. The Cubs receive a fair bit of support. I would say they average probably around 400 fans or more. Just real great fan support in the community here, and why not? Of all the junior hockey teams, the Junior A and the Major Junior, they're always full of kids from out of town and halfway across the country. If you want to come support your local team, come support the Medicine Hat Cubs. There's a whole bunch of Medicine Hat and area boys here giving it their best shot for everybody every night. Cubs dump it into the zone there, a shot just wide of the zone. King holds it in the blue line, gets it down behind the net. Fighting off a Copperhead there is Dreffs. And Glasgow chases after it now. The Copperheads able to clear it down into the Cubs zone. And once again, we get an icing call. So as we mentioned here, every game feels like a playoff game in the back half of the season in the HJHL. The league schedule set up such that all the South Division teams play each other and all the North Division teams play each other. So these clubs get quite familiar with each other down the stretch, and as we mentioned, no love lost between these two teams. There's been some action in the past involving the fisticuffs. A heavy hit by Wagner before the Copperheads are able to clear the zone, but the Cubs dump it back in. Picked off there by Mahar, and now Verlu with it into the Cubs zone. Makes a nice move around Aiken, rips a shot. That goes just wide. Wakelam was there in the event it did hit the net. Back into the Cubs zone now, up to Garrick. And Cubs leading scorer, Kyle Woolridge has it now. He moves in, he shoots, he scores! An absolute beauty by Kyle Woolridge, getting the scoring started here. Just a minute 13 into the game. Woolridge showing you exactly why he's the Cubs' leading scorer. That's his 27th goal of the season in just his 31st game. Puts him up to 41 points. And the Cubs find themselves ahead 1-0 on their first shot of the game. A beauty from Woolridge. I think his line mate Caleb Garrick there is going to get an assist as well. A great start for the Cubs. Head coach and GM Randy Wong has to be pleased with that. After the face-off, it's the Copperheads with it in their own zone. A little D-to-D pass as they move into the neutral area. Dumped in and tipped by Hines, the leading scorer for the Copperheads. Chasing it after it behind the Cubs net there is Shaw. He picks it up, makes his way up the half wall, and he's got it over the blue and through the neutral zone. Copperheads clear the zone. Again, just confirming Woolridge with the goal there. And assist to rookie defenseman Josh Aitken, picking up an assist there. I would think Garrick is going to get one if they review the tape after that one. Anyways, a bit of a response from Coaldale as they dump a shot in on Wakelam, and we've got a face-off in the Cubs' end. And again, that I wouldn't call them an energy line. They are a tone-setter line of Glasgow, Drefts, and Hardy come out. They play hard, they hit hard. They're heavy boys, and they can also put the puck in the net, so a real tone-setter for the Cubs. 2-on-1 developing here, Drefts and Hardy. And Drefts a pass just off the edge of Hardy's stick there. No doubt he'll love to have another chance at that one. Puck back into the Copperheads corner. Hardy chases after it, but the Copperheads escape with it. And stepping out with it there is Bruns before losing it to King. Mahar now with a pass up to Hardy on the right side. Hardy with the dump in, and he has his feet pulled out from under him by Degenstein, but no call there. A dangerous pass out front by the Copperheads, but they go unpunished, thankfully, for them. Back into the Cubs zone, Booth with it now for the Copperheads. And chasing behind the net with it is Bruns. And it cleared out to the neutral zone and back into the Coaldale end. Huguenon with it now, looking to make the pass, a deep pass down the ice. That jumps over the stick of Brogan Booth, and it's Huguenon with it now again, dumping it into the Cubs zone. Bit of scrambly play here in the neutral area as the Cubs and Copperheads change chances, but rookie Tash Armstrong with it now in the Coaldale zone. He's joined by fellow rookie Braden Patey. These fellas looking to add to their stats and put a few more in the back of the net. Battle for it in the corner. Nobody really asserting control. And it comes back to the D. A quick shot there by Trimbecki, I believe. And that goes just wide. Battling for it down there is Heath Geeky, supported by Tash Armstrong. We've got a penalty coming up, and it looks like this one is going to go against the Cubs for holding? Yes, it's Geeky, the rookie. He finds himself heading to the penalty box for 2 minutes on the holding call as we approach the 4-minute mark here of the first. Neither team really doing a whole lot to assert themselves as they feel each other out here in the early going, but the Cubs sporting that 1-0 lead, looking to defend it here on the penalty kill. Coaldale wins the draw, back D-to-D pass and a shot on net, and Wakelam there to stop the puck and calm things down. All right, Cubs captain Kellen Prasovsky on to take the draw. He's one of the team's premier, really one of the league's premier penalty killers. I had the opportunity to watch this young man play hockey for a lot of his life, and really unselfish player, a great captain for the club this year, and obviously a tremendous penalty killer. He's on PK1 pretty much all the time. Joined up front tonight by fellow forward Jacob Hazard to help kill off this penalty. Puck dumped deep back into the Coaldale zone, and they will attempt to recalibrate as they break out through the neutral zone, and the puck is stolen by Prasovsky. Hazard joins him up there. Now they've got possession in the Coaldale zone, but it's short-lived. Copperheads with it now, attempting to set back up on the power play. McCulloch drops it back to the D-man, and he gives it right back, and they dump it in. Out to play it is Wakelam. It hops his stick, though, and it looks like the Copperheads are going to gain the zone here. D-to-D pass as they look to set up their power play. Ooh, a dangerous pass through the slot. Nobody ready to one-time that unfortunately for the Cubs. All right, Hazard gaining possession of it. He dumps it up to Drefts, who is now on for the kill, and Hazard goes down. He's looking for a call there, but no sympathy from the ref. And we've got a stoppage in play as Fulton hops on that one and slows things down in the Copperheads zone. 44 seconds remaining here in the Cubs penalty kill. So far, so good. No real dangerous chances for Coaldale, but all it takes is one. Glasgow now in to take the draw. Copperheads win and recover, and they will set up behind their own net. Pass up the right-hand wall, broken up by the Cubs. Drefts gains control of the puck and dumps it in from the red line. And once again, the Copperheads will have to retreat and try and set up again. Some excellent penalty killing here from the Cubs as they just keep getting in the way of all the passes. But Copperheads find their way into the Cubs zone, and a lazy shot zipped at Tyler Wakelam. No problem for him. He makes the quick glove save, and once again, we are awaiting a face-off. Glasgow and Prasovsky, the penalty killers up front. Trembecki and Mahar, it looks like the D-men attempting to stymie this Copperheads power play. Twig with it now, crosses the blue line. He's looking to gain control and set up. Broken up by the Cubs, back to the D-man, and Prasovsky almost sent on a breakaway, but instead it's Glasgow who's breaking in. A dangerous chance there, goes just wide. Great penalty killing here from the Cubs. Really one of the top special teams units in the league, and no shortage of effective penalty killers on this Cubs roster. And with that, they're back to full strength. Woolridge back out there with Garrick as the Cubs look to improve upon this 1-0 lead. Woolridge holds it in at the blue line. Through the slot to Wagner. He just misses on that attempt, and a point shot from Mahar gets through. Good stop in there by Fulton. Back in the Cubs zone, Mahar with it now. Gets it up to Garrick. Garrick on the red line, makes his way into the Coaldale zone, drops it for Woolridge. Garrick now again on the side. He's dangerous around the net. He's looking for someone to hand it off to. It comes back to the defenseman, Aitken. He lets a shot go. A perfect shot by the D-man, snuck through. And Shaw with another opportunity. He fires one at the net. The Cubs looking dangerous early on here. Battle for it along the boards. It's dumped out by Coaldale, but it looks like icing will be waved off. No. Cubs benefits. The Cubs benefiting from a questionable icing call, and we'll have a face-off back in the Coaldale zone. Another nice crowd on hand here, folks. Cubs tickets, just $10 for adults, $5 for students and seniors. And kids under 12 get in free. So if you're looking for an affordable family entertainment event, why not give the Cubs a chance? They're a pretty good hockey team right now, rocking a 21-5-4 record. Great chance in front by Drefts. He is denied by Fulton in tight as the Cubs continue to put pressure on. Glasgow roaring to the corner, and here Prasovsky's stick. And that means the Cubs are once again going to go to the penalty kill. Several Cubs attempting to plead their case, but nonetheless, it will be a penalty. Pardon me, it looks like it's Jacob Hazard heading to the box here as he tries to plead his case, and he'll be getting 2 minutes for the trip. So the Cubs once again head to the penalty kill. As we take a look at the special teams stats here, we can see the Cubs power play percentage sitting at 20% and their penalty kill at 87%. So that is second in the league, only behind the 91% kill rate of the league leading Okotoks Bisons. So once again, special teams a real strength here for the Cubs. The fourth best penalty kill power play percentage and the second best penalty kill percentage. So the coaching staff of the Cubs definitely getting the most out of their squad here with regards to special teams. We are in the media timeout, so just taking a moment here as each team gathers their breath. And we've got 9:06 to go here in the first period. Cubs ahead 1-0 on the scoreboard, 7-6. They've got the lead in shots, but Coaldale finds themselves on the power play, and they will be looking to even this one up. Twig facing off against Glasgow on the draw. Glasgow wins it back to Aitken. Aitken with a dump attempt, but it's held in at the line by the Copperheads. Puck squirts out in front. A dangerous chance there as I believe it was Bruns got his stick on it. Puck squirted right in front of the net. He didn't really get all of it, but Brun's able to redirect it onto Wakelam, and he was able to get the pad on top of it and stall play long enough to get a whistle here. Cubs looking to remain perfect on their penalty kill, already 1 for 1 in the PK department, but certainly being tested and challenged here by Coaldale as they get another chance down low. Shot from the point came in and a couple rebound opportunities there. D across the blue line now. The Coaldale power play not looking too bad here. Some decent puck movement and redirect opportunities. Behind the net with it now is Verloop. He gets it back to the point to Kennedy. Kennedy dumps it back in, and Aitken chases after it there, hoping to disrupt it. A funny bounce puts it back in the possession of the Copperheads. They get another shot. That one screams over the top of the net, and they recover the puck in the corner. Copperheads move it around, but it's held in at the blue line here. Shot from the point. Wakelam lets that one hit him in the upper chest protector area as Aitken battles for it and tries to maintain possession and clear the zone. Holding it in at the blue line was Huguenon for the Copperheads. Copperheads looking dangerous, taking it to the net. There was a chance, and they score. Verloop took it to the net. I'm not sure who tapped it in. It might have been Huguenon. But either way, Coaldale capitalizes on that tripping penalty that Hazard took, and we've got ourselves a 1-1 contest. It looks like the goal scorer is going to be Peyton Twig. That would be his 16th of the year. And he has evened up this contest at the 7:49 remaining mark here in the first period. Coaldale really racking up the shots on that power play. They finally, it was the 5th shot on goal of that power play that went in, and we find ourselves in a 1-1 tie. Off the face-off, it's Mahar driving it into the Copperhead zone. Picking it up behind the net there is Garrick. Garrick makes a move, dumps it back down below the goal line where the Copperheads will recover it. All right, so they're giving the goal to Nathan Verloop. That would be his 16 with Twig, and Bruns picking up assists. Woolridge with it now, makes a move. He finds himself all in alone. A beautiful chance there. Oh, Woolridge turning the Copperheads defender inside out and getting a backhand chance there that smokes Fulton in the chest there, ending that chance. Wagner now. Oh, he makes a nice move around McCulloch and maintains possession. Throws it out front, a dangerous opportunity here as Garrick and Woolridge were looking to bang that one in. Now Trembecki holds it in at the line. Battling for it down there is Trembecki and Garrick. Woolridge dumps it back in, and the Copperheads gain control. Couple good opportunities, bounce back efforts there from the Cubs as the Copperheads dump it deep, and icing is waved off. Mahar with it now in his own end. Moves across the blue line, through the neutral zone. Walks into the opposing end zone. Oh, looking for the cross-crease pass for Armstrong, who had joined the rush. And it looks like that effort will result in a penalty to the Copperheads. There's going to be an interference call against Coaldale, and the Cubs will be heading to the power play. A great chance there, 2-on-1. Broken up by Coaldale, perhaps saving a goal, but in the process, it looks like Peyton Twig is headed to the box for interference. So it'll be the Hardy, Glasgow, and Dreffs up front with Shaw and Aitken here as the Cubs look to regain the lead. They've got a power play. Off the draw, Burns takes what should have been an interference call, perhaps, a hit on the Cubs player there who was attempting to retrieve the puck. Battle for it behind the goal line. And Shaw able to scoot up to the half wall and hold that in. With it now is Hardy. Hardy dipsy-doodling and working his way around. And the Copperheads pull it free and manage to dump it out of the zone. Hopped over the stick of Aitken there as he recovers and fires it up to Hardy in the neutral area. Hardy now with it. Moves across the red line, across the blue, and gets it deep into the Copperhead zone. Woolridge chasing it after then. A smart play to lift the stick of McCulloch and try and steal the puck. Nearing the halfway point. Oh, Woolridge throws it out front. Here's Shaw now. He fans on it. And the puck is cleared out and all the way down onto Wakelam, who is forced to redirect it. Aitken now with it behind his own net as the Cubs look to reestablish the power play. Here comes Woolridge flying down the right-hand side. He dumps it in. Hassled there by Huguenon, but we've got a battle for it here. Looks like the Copperheads are going to gain control, and it is chopped out and sent down the ice as Mahar goes to retrieve it, as he's hassled there by Coden Lazar, a big player for the Copperheads, looking to inflict a little punishment on Mahar. Mahar now with it up to Garrick. Garrick with it in the neutral zone, gets it across the blue line, loses possession as he survives a check. Copperheads attempt to clear it, but Mahar gloves it down, makes a pass across the blue line. Shot by Hazard, that one blocked. Mahar now over to Garrick. Garrick back over to Hazard. Hazard takes a shot, that one whistles just wide and flies out of the zone, and now it's Mahar back into the Cubs zone to retrieve. 5 seconds left in this power play. It looks like the Copperheads have successfully defended, and the Cubs will go 0 for 1 on the power play thus far. Verloop interrupting that, a clearing pass, throws it out front. Hazard there to break it up. And the puck squirts into the neutral zone. It's Wagner. Big number 13 coming down the side, rips a hard shot, and Fulton there to make the save. Verloop now with it, squirts it down the ice, and it's going to be called icing. A little too much on that backhand from Verloop, and the Copperheads once again find themselves taking the draw in their own zone. So, a good response from the Cubs after giving up the tie goal. We find ourselves with the score 1-1, 4:04 remaining here in the first period at the Kimplex in beautiful Medicine Hat. Glasgow, Wagner, and Carrier out there. King receives the puck off the draw. He fires a shot, that one deflected just wide. Copperheads attempt to clear, but it's held in by Trembecki. Trembecki looking for Carrier, that one's broken up, and the puck goes back into the neutral zone. Wagner covering on D, fires up a pass, redirected by Carrier into the, no, they're saying he missed it, and they're gonna call that icing. Carrier kind of wondering what's going on. He said, I redirected that at the blue line. How could that be icing? But you got to worry about the things you can control, and the officials are one of those things that players eventually learn they have little to no control over. Face-off here in the Cubs zone, 3:47 remaining in the first. Copperheads win it, comes back to the point, and Burns, the scrapper on that Copperheads team, can't hold it in. Puck in the neutral zone. Wagner now fires it into the Coaldale zone. Moving up with it now is Huguenon. He fires it up to Booth. Booth with the tip into the Cubs zone, and chasing it after is Trembecki. Trembecki, puck skips his stick, and it looks like Coaldale recovers. And we're going to get a tripping call here as Booth, a little lazy with his stick there, got his blade into the blades of Tash Armstrong. That's going to be a tripping call, and Booth finds himself, Brogan Booth, getting a 2-minute penalty for tripping. The Cubs will once again head to the power play. Face-off setting up in the Coaldale zone. PP unit consisting of Prasovsky, Garrick, and Woolridge up front with Shaw. And it looks like the other defenseman joining Shaw there is Hazard. Hazard manning the point. So going with 4 forwards on this power play, and it's Hazard now forced to chase after it as the Cubs are unable to hold the zone. Hazard now with it behind his own net. The Cubs look like they're setting up for the flying V formation. All 5 players were within a few meters of each other as Garrick carries it into the offensive zone. Dumps it around. Woolridge now. He makes a nifty play to gain control. Comes out to Prasovsky, and he taps that one just wide. And Garrick over to Shaw. Back to Garrick on the half wall. Garrick looking for someone. Throws it through the crease. A quick shot. And Hazard there fires one. And up to the challenge is Fulton. Back into the neutral zone now. Shaw up to Garrick. Garrick gains the zone once again. Into Prasovsky, into the slot. The captain dropping it for Woolridge. A shot. Oh, that goes off of Burns' skate. Woolridge had himself another one there, one would think. Woolridge now behind the goal line. Making some moves. Dazzling. In the phone booth. Fires it out to Garrick. Garrick tries a shot. That one's blocked. Woolridge gains control again. Over to Hazard. Hazard fires it. Prasovsky with the redirect attempt in front. And he just stumbled on that one-timer. Made a second effort, and Fulton was able to jump over and make the save and put an end to that Cubs scoring opportunity. Second power play unit comes out. Now we've got Hardy, Glasgow, and Drefts joined on the point by Mahar and Aitken as they will look to reestablish the lead. 2:08 to go here in the first. Hardy has it off the faceoff. A blind backhand pass, and that one broken up by trusty Coaldale defenseman Bill Huguenon. He dumps it all the way down the ice, and Wakelam has to come out and play it. Retreating now is Hardy. Hands it off to Aitken behind his own net. Aitken looking to make a pass. Cross ice to Mahar, up to Hardy in the neutral zone. Off his stick, and Coaldale will once again dump it into the Cubs' end. Mahar now looking to set it up. Mahar comes out from behind his net. Throws it up to Hardy. Hardy drops back to Mahar, who's now got a little extra space. He gains the neutral zone and dumps it into the Copperheads' end of the ice. And that possession is short-lived as the Copperheads look like they're going to successfully kill off this penalty. And the final second indeed does tick off the clock. And it's another successful kill for the Copperheads. Puck now deep in the Copperhead zone. Chasing after it there was Dreffs. Dreffs now battling the Captain Kennedy of the Copperheads, and Dreffs held up there on the wall, but no call. Final minute of play here in the first period. Glasgow, Dreffs, and Hardy out there plying their trade. Puck comes loose along the wall. Dreffs over there to try and hold it into the zone. He does. He gains possession. Dreffs now with it, fires it out to Glasgow. Glasgow just couldn't get the shot away. Back to Mahar. He fans on it, and we've got a dangerous chance here developing. 2-on-1 for the Copperheads. Booth with it. Broken up there by Trembecki. Some solid defensive play to neutralize that dangerous opportunity for the Copperheads. Cubs not out of trouble yet as the puck is still in their end of the rink. Booth with it now. Gets it behind the Cubs and Cubs net. Broken up there by Trembecki, but he is abused by Booth as he really decides, I want that puck. McCulloch with it now. Throws a blind shot towards the net. That one goes wide. Dreffs just looking to get it out of the zone here with the final seconds of the first period ticking away. Copperheads with one final stab at it. They fired it at the net. And Wakelam up to the challenge. He calls a halt to the play, stops that attempt and says, look what I found. So face off in the Cubs zone with 4.5 seconds remaining here in the first period. A pretty evenly matched period as evidenced by the scoreboard. 1-1 on the scoreboard. And the Copperheads leading 12-11 in shots. Copperheads pulling the goalie here for the extra attacker, and it nearly backfires as the Cubs won the draw. And Wagner was able to fire that down the ice. So with 4.5 seconds left on the clock, the Copperheads opting to put a sixth skater out there, hoping to bang in a quick chance at the end. It nearly bit them as the Cubs won the draw, and Wagner sailed one down the ice, but it goes just wide. And that concludes the first period. So after 20 minutes here at the Kimplex, we've got a score of the Coaldale Copperheads 1, the Medicine Hat Cubs 1. It's now time for intermission. We'll see you after the break. All right, I'm joined here by Cubs Vice President Matt St. Pierre. And Matt, it's the Cubs' 50th season. What kind of things have you been doing to celebrate this milestone year?
Well, I'd say a lot of it happened at the beginning of the year when we celebrated by having like an alumni game. We had about 200 alumni show up for that game, and about 50 of them participated in a game against each other. So that was a good way to start off our 50th year. And you know, we had some guys that that pretty shaky on the ice, but you know, they did really well. Anyways, and then we also had a jersey retirement for the late Terry Bartram there, to kind of kick off our 50th year. We kind of went with a more retro look for our jerseys and stuff like that, with a new logo, stuff like that, just to kind of show like, hey, we've been in this community for 50 years, and hopefully it's another 50.
Yeah, those jerseys and that new old logo are a real hit. I know the players love them, and so do the fans. Well, like the rest of the Cubs board of directors, you're a volunteer. What made you decide to step up and help the Cubs, and how long has it been now?
Well, I'm on my third year. It was actually, I ended up coming to a game, but it was like 3 years ago, and the now president, Glenn Stahl, he picked me out in the crowd, and I knew him previously, and he came up and he right away, hey, you want to join the board? And so I hummed about it for a couple days, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, let's give this a go. And this is my first year as vice president, so you know, this is definitely an organization that I absolutely love being a part of, and the camaraderie like between the board members and the staff and volunteers and stuff is just it's absolutely amazing. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, I was just going to ask you, what do you enjoy most about being involved with the club? And I was also going to say, can you just tell us some of the roles you fill for the Cubs?
Some of the roles? Yeah, so, you know, like vice president, I take care of all the social media, like today, filling in as the announcer, and then just like kind of game day operations. That's kind of my role, and then I go out and look for sponsors too, and when I have time. So.
Okay, that brings me to my next question. Are you looking for additional sponsors, volunteers, billets, and if so, who should they reach out to?
So for sponsors, they can reach out to me, Matt St. Pierre. My number's on our website. Also, when it comes to volunteers, yeah, I think we could always use some volunteers, like to help out with like security operations, like just checking people or giving them stamps at the door and stuff like that. And always looking for sponsors to help. And the sponsors we have right now, we can't thank them enough. But we would always welcome more and try and give them as much recognition as we can. So.
Absolutely, you guys do a great job of showing love for your sponsors. Playoffs are just around the corner. What can the fans of the Medicine Hat Cubs expect for that?
A high-flying Cubs team and a great atmosphere. We're gonna try and get some rally towels and stuff like that again to get the fans involved. We're just really looking forward to it. We don't know when that will be yet. It depends on where we finish in the standings, but playoffs are always a great time, and we are definitely looking forward. And I think we got the team to go quite a long way this year. So fans don't want to miss it. You want to be here and watching these games.
Right on. Well, we thank you for your time. Matt St. Pierre, Vice President of the Cubs. Welcome back, fans. The referee's just coming onto the ice here as the first intermission concludes as we await the Cubs' return to the battlefield. Great contest so far, 1-1. We'd like to take a quick moment to thank Rogers TV for giving the Cubs this opportunity to show their wares here across the airwaves. Really appreciate that community support from Rogers, and thank you so much for providing the equipment and staff to make this possible. The Cubs are certainly grateful, and yeah, stuff like this, always fun to do. Nice to shine a spotlight on these players. Like we mentioned earlier, when you play at the Junior B level, by and large, the rosters are constructed mainly of local kids. So it's great to see them get an opportunity to reach a few extra eyeballs and put their skills on display. And we'd like to thank you once again, Rogers, for making the effort to get this to happen. So the Cubs without a few players tonight. That 4-1 loss at Okotoks they suffered on Friday night. Well, a bit of a fracas there near the end of the game. And that led to suspensions of numerous players, including number 11, Keenan Cairns, number 19, Jesse Klamosko, number 71, Ethan Mahan, and number 81, Carson Christensen. So the Cubs without some of their firepower and spirit, but nonetheless putting on a great performance here as we get ready to start the second period. Kyle Woolridge has the goal for the Cubs. Responding for the Copperheads was Nathan Verloop. Woolridge currently with that, I believe, is going to move up to a tie for 8th in the league in scoring. The leading scorer for the Copperheads is a man named Caden Hines. He's got 42 points in 31 games, and with that goal tonight, Woolridge bumps up to 41 points in 31 games. So a tremendous campaign for Kyle Woolridge, the leading scorer in terms of points and goals for the Medicine Hat Cubs. Both goaltenders have been solid thus far. A couple of great saves each from Fulton and Wakelam in response for the Cubs as both teams switch ends. And we await the second period puck drop as the Copperheads leisurely make their way across the ice. And the door is closed. And we are just about set to get underway. Glasgow, Drefson, Hardy getting the start in the second here for the Cubs. One back to King. King cross ice pass to Shaw. Shaw now moves it up to Hardy in the neutral zone. Hardy battles with it and it's turned over. Back to Hardy, over to Drefs. And the Cubs get it into the Coaldale zone, but it's shot up into the netting, and we've got another stoppage. Looks like that face-off is must have went off a Coaldale stick because the draw is in the Coaldale zone. So the Cubs will once again look to reestablish possession here as the Copperheads make a line change. Glasgow wins the draw. Shaw fakes the big shot. A nice little pass through to Drefts there. He had a chance in front, but it's the Copperheads responding. Puck now into the Cubs zone. Chasing after it there is King for the Cubs. He's assisted by Shaw. They strip the puck off the Coaldale defender and clear the zone. King now with it through the neutral zone across the blue. Moves his way in, dishes it off to Drefts. Drefts with a backhand goes just wide. Shot from the goal line by King, gobbled up by Fulton, and we'll get another stoppage in play. Face off to the blocker side of the Copperheads netminder coming up. Cubs with their leading scorers out there, Caleb Garrick and Kyle Woolridge, joined by the heavy-hitting Owen Wagner as he looks to assert himself. Comes to Garrick off the draw. He tries a quick shot, fans, gets it back, takes another shot, and it's stopped in there by Fulton. Puck squirts into the corner. Battling for it along the boards here. And it looks like it's going to be Garrick who gains possession. He moves it down beneath the goal line. Quick backhand pass out front looking for Wagner, and it slips through and across the other side. Coaldale gains possession. Losing it now, and it's the Cubs' Garrick. He's stripped of the puck in the neutral zone. A little bit of back and forth here. Chasing after it now is Woolridge, moving in 1-on-2 with it, coming down the left-hand side. A dangerous backhand. Zips over top of the net, and now it's the Copperheads with it through the neutral zone. Broken up there by the Cubs' D. Chasing it out is Woolridge across the blue. Into the attacking zone. Mahar now with it. He's got it, turns and fires, and it goes just wide. Wagner now along the boards. Gets it down below the goal line to Garrick. He moves it up the side wall. Garrick now cycles it down low. Prasovsky on the quick change. He's joined by Mackay Carrier behind the net. Prasovsky now over to Carrier. Carrier dumps it out to front to Hazard on a backhand. Comes to the point. Aiken with the shot. It gets through. And another chance for the Cubs in front. Turned aside by Fulton. Prasovsky, the captain, with it now. Behind the goal line. Throws it back to the point. Aitken. Quick pass back down to the goal line to Carrier. Carrier throws it out front. Prasovsky looking for the chance. And another shot here from Trumbecki to the point. The Cubs applying all kinds of pressure right now. Carrier battling for it. And assisted by Prasovsky. The Cubs proving to be a big load to handle right now as they've got the Copperheads hemmed in. Battle for it in the corner. Comes out, and it looks like Burns is going to be able to clear the zone for the Copperheads. He moves it up ahead, dumped into the Cubs zone, and gaining possession of it is Aitken. Aitken moving it up to Hazard. Hazard can't control it, and McCulloch now turns and fires, turns it over. Hazard there nearly had a chance as McCulloch fired one, and a very dangerous area to be doing so. Puck is shot down the ice by the Copperheads, and that'll be an icing. That'll be a face-off in the Coaldale zone here momentarily. So as mentioned, both these teams with 46 points in the standings. The Cubs occupying the second spot in the South Division standings, trailing only the Okotoks Bisons. The Copperheads right behind them. The Cubs gaining that second seed by way of games played. Chasing it after now, the McCulloch for the Copperheads. He throws a pass into the middle. It's kind of broken up here by Armstrong, but the Copperheads are able to clear and get it into the Cubs zone. Kennedy dumping it in. Chasing back after it is Trumbecki. Trumbecki harassed there by Creighton. Battle for it here as the Copperheads take out Armstrong there behind the goal line. Cubs getting possession as Shaw moving it up the left-hand side. He's got Patey with him. Patey looking for someone out front. Geeky, the rookie in front. Shot, and great save there by Fulton. Geeky with an opportunity there to give the Cubs the lead, and he was denied in tight by the Copperheads netminder. Big pile up in the corner here as we wait to see which way it's going to squeak out. No shortage of jerseys there. Copperheads Rylan Bruns just kind of holding the pile together there. We know Rylan Bruns, he's a talented hockey player, also a rugged lacrosse player through the years for the Lethbridge Association. Many of these kids have done battle in multiple sports over the years, so, you know, it's kind of nice. You see them chatting occasionally off the face-off, and then occasionally you see them punching each other in the face. But either way, they know each other well from years of doing battle. Copperheads with it now. Bruns gets it out, shoveled into the neutral zone. Here comes Huguenon on a momentary 2-on-1 for the Copperheads. And chasing after it now is Drefts. Drefts trying to clear the zone. Assisted there. And it's Glasgow now with it. Oh, and they called that one offside. Hardy disagreeing with that call, but just a hair too early across the line. Otherwise, it was looking like Glasgow and Hardy would have had a 2-on-1 opportunity there. King and Mahar, the defenseman out there for the Cubs. Mahar, puck is won by the Cubs. Mahar has to retreat into his own zone and gather it up. He's harassed in there by Brogan Booth. Booth strips him of the puck, and he's got possession below the goal line. Dumps it out in front. Dangerous area here. And the Copperheads are denied in tight. Bruns there looking for an opportunity. Might have got a shot away. I'm not sure. Now it's Glasgow. He's being held up by Bruns. Bruns making his presence felt, and it looks like maybe a little too much as the ref's arm goes up. And it looks like a holding call coming to Copperheads alternate captain Rylan Bruns. He's going to sit for 2 minutes or less in the penalty box, and the Cubs will once again go to the power play. So the power play unit of Prasovsky, Woolridge, and Garrick with Aitken and Shaw is out there to try to ply their trade and try and regain that lead. One back to Shaw. Shaw from the point, fires it, deflected off the skate of the Copperheads player. Aitken with it now. Gets it down low, skips past Prasovsky, but Garrick is there, and now he's got possession of it. Fires it back to Shaw. Shaw with a shot from the point. Stopped up on the way through and squirts into the corner. Woolridge with it now. Gets it down to Prasovsky below the goal line behind the net. Over to Garrick in the corner. Garrick gets it up to Shaw. Shaw keeps it in. Shaw with it now. Cubs struggling to establish possession here, but maintaining it long enough to hold the zone. Aitken with it now at the point. He fires it into the slot area, and it's Garrick who comes away with it now. He's holding it on the sideboards. Garrick over to Woolridge. Woolridge looking to make a move. Down low to Prasovsky. Prasovsky behind the net with it now. Slips it back to Woolridge. Woolridge back up to Garrick. Garrick now. Back to the point for Shaw. Shaw fires one through a crowd, and that one's deflected and goes wide, and the Copperheads bench celebrates. Aitken now with a shot. That deflected dangerously just wide of the goal. Shaw with it at the point. Holds the line. Shoots one in. A bit of a wild shot. Comes to leading scorer Woolridge, who had a quick opportunity there. And it's now being battled for behind the goal line. Shaw once again gains possession. Cross ice to Aitken. Aitken fires, shoots, he scores! Josh Aitken, the rookie defenseman, gets his 5th of the year. And the Cubs capitalize on the power play to take a 2-1 lead. So after struggling to own the zone there, the Cubs kind of settle things down. It's Shaw moving it across the blue line to Aitken. Aitken puts in his 5th, and the Cubs have now gone up by a score of 2-1, a successful power play for the Cubs at the 14-15 mark of the second period. Shots on goal at this time, 17-12 in favor of the Cubs. So if you do the math, that means they're out shooting the Copperheads 6-0 at this point in the period. Perhaps a little bit of a conversation had in between the in between periods in the dressing room between the players and the coaching staff. Either way, the Cubs have responded and come out flying here in the second. So Aitken indeed getting credit for that goal. And Shaw drawing the only assist on that. So we've got Carrier now into the zone. He drops it off for Wagner. Wagner throws a backhand pass. That's broken up. Now it's Mahar. Fakes the shot. Holds it in. Coming down the left-hand side. Now he's below the goal line with it. Mahar maintaining possession. He's checked hard in there by Huguenon. Huguenon pressing his man up against the boards. Now it's Wagner and another Copperhead as they battle for it. Hines with it now for the Coaldale team. Gets it through to the neutral zone. Broken up there by King. King still with it on his stick. Finally has stripped of it, and it looks like the Cubs nearly escaped a bad 2-on-1 situation there. They were able to recover in time. With it now is Coaldale. Turned over, and now Trembecki's got it for the Cubs. Trembecki looking for someone to pass it to. He dashes it off the boards all the way down the ice, and that will be icing. So Trembecki feeling the heat a little bit, looking for an outlet, missed his man, and it'll be a face-off back in the Cubs zone. Jamal Shaw, one of the leading defenseman scorers in the league. I believe he is 5th or 6th on the Cubs in points, so that would put him up to 27 points in 31 games this season. A great season from Shaw. Obviously known for his physical prowess. He's a tremendous hitter, but proving he can get it done on the score sheet as well in other ways. Trembecki clears it into the neutral zone. Oh my gosh, squeaking right through the middle is Glasgow. Glasgow rips it. Oh, he fires one off the iron. Glasgow somehow weaseled his way all the way through the entire Coaldale team there and just fired a beautiful chance off the iron there. Nearly had the Cubs ahead 3-1. Coming back the other way now is Brogan Booth for the Copperheads. Booth goes in wide, and he's checked off the puck there by Trembecki, and he returns the favor, dumping Trembecki in the corner. Chasing it after it now is Shaw. Shaw with it in his own zone. He survives a hard hit by Booth. Booth, kind of an all-around player there. He's got some skills, but certainly knows how to lay the body as well. Again, Trembecki goes down as a result of Booth making his presence felt. Held in at the line by Bruns. Bruns fires it into the corner. Holding it in there for the Copperheads was number 23, Kobe Fujita. Fujita now chasing after it once again. Throws a backhand pass that's broken up by the Cubs. Behind the net, Bruns sneaks out front, nearly taps that one in as he came out from behind the goal line and tried to sneak that one past Wakelam. Just goes wide. Bruns with it now into the neutral zone. Cross ice to number 25, Coden Lazar. Lazar in deep on the left-hand side. And a tricky one. Got past Wakelam, but they're calling it off. I think there's going to be either a penalty or that was a high stick, one of the two. So Coden Lazar had gained the zone for the Copperheads, came in on that left-hand side, fired a shot at Wakelam, and I guess he must have got his own rebound and batted it out of mid-air as the faceoff came outside, so the goal waved off due to a high stick. Unfortunate break there for Coden Lazar of the Copperheads. He nearly tied this one up. All right, Huguenon with it now for the Copperheads in his own zone. He's looking to move it. It goes off the skate of Patey, and they'll have to retreat and start over. Captain Kennedy for the Copperheads dumps it up ahead. Now with it is the Lazar, the would-be goal scorer. Verloop throws it in front, a great chance. And standing tall in the net there was Wakelam. Turning aside the chance. Now it's the Copperheads again with a shot. Another save by Wakelam. Cubs looking a little scrambly here, but Wakelam shutting the door and calming things down. Aitken with it now behind his own net. Moves it up to Patey on the left-hand wall. Patey just dumps it into the Copperhead zone. A little too much on that, though, and we're going to have another icing call. So the Copperheads showing why they are just only trailing the Cubs by way of win percentage in the standings. They nearly banged in two there, having a goal waved off and then responding with another dangerous chance as we get set for the faceoff in the Cubs zone. Armstrong takes the draw. It's won and sent down the ice immediately by number 15, by his line mate there, and we're going to have another faceoff in the Cubs zone. My name is Tim Mahan, once again, your guide and host for this contest between the Copperheads and the Cubs. 2-1 the score here at the midway point of the second period. Copperheads win the draw, and a shot fired on net, turned aside. Oh my goodness, Bronze just laying the wood to Mahar, and the puck squirts out front, and diving on it there to calm things down is Wakelam. So physical contest, these Copperheads definitely showing that they mean business here today, and definitely going to be some bumps and bruises here for the Cubs after this one. Face off to the right-hand side of Wakelam here as Fujita steps in to take the draw against Woolridge. And the Cubs win, lose possession though, and the puck is shot over the Cubs net. Wagner now lays into Brogan and then takes out another Copperhead, Bruns, right after. As I mentioned, he is a tremendous hitter, a load for anyone to handle. Now it's Garrick moving across the line, and that one's broken up by Burns, and it looks like that one hurt. He is struggling to get back to his feet. So Burns with a noble play to break up that chance by the ever-dangerous Garrick, but it cost him. Oh, King with an excellent move. What a beauty goal! Scored by rookie Hayden King. He dangled around the Copperheads defenseman, kind of put it through his legs, got the puck back, and put it short side on Fulton, just like that. Hayden King with his third of the year, and the Cubs have a 3-1 lead. An absolute beauty by King. I know he's going to be tuning in. He's going to be wanting to watch the replay. What a beautiful goal by him as he came down the left-hand side, toe dragged it through the legs of the Copperheads defender, regained possession, and fired it short side past Fulton to give the Cubs a 2-goal lead. Krasovsky now the captain with it, taking it in deep into the Cubs zone, the Copperhead zone. As they battle for it, it comes out front, and another stop there by Fulton. The Cubs doing everything they can to bang that one, and a bit of a melee breaking out in front of the Copperheads net. Perhaps a stick coming in after the whistle on the goaltender there. So Woolridge picking up an assist on that goal by King. That'll add to his team leading 42 points now. And yeah, we've got ourselves a 3-1 lead as we reach the media break here. Cubs leading the Coaldale Copperheads. So each one of these games in the back half of the season, so important. Both these teams with 46 points in the standings, and of course, any head-to-head matchup with a division rival referred to as a 4-point game, because that's the swing if you gain 2 points versus lose them. So the Cubs will definitely be looking to hold on and end the quick little skid that they're on. They've dropped their last 2, so a bounce-back game here it would be if they're able to maintain this lead and hold on for the back half of this contest. Coaldale really picking up the physical play here in the second frame of this game. But it's the Cubs who have responded on the score sheet. So far, outshooting Coaldale 9-6 with 9:45 remaining here in the second period. 9-6 shots on goal for the second period thus far. Out to take the draw is Prasovsky, and it's won by the Copperheads, and they clear the zone. Dumped in by number 17, Rylan Milo. Wakelam out from behind his net. He tries to wrap it around the boards and held in at the wall by the Copperheads. But it's Trimbecki gaining possession across the ice pass to Aitken. Aitken dumping it up for Carrier. He's unable to get it, but icing waved off as Carrier chases in after his man. Brasovsky now digging for it in the corner. He gains possession momentarily, but is stripped by McCulloch as he moves it up in period. Cubs win the draw. Comes back again to Mahar. Mahar takes a shot. Blocked in there by the captain Kennedy of the Coaldale Copperheads. That's a lot of alliteration for yours truly right there. Moving it through the neutral zone is Brogan Booth, the hard-hitting Coaldale Copperhead. And they get it deep into the Cubs zone. Cubs gain numbers there. Carrier's got it on the half wall. He tries a backhand pass, and that is broken up, but it does manages to come out of the Cubs zone, dumped back in by Kennedy. Now with it is Trimbecki. Trimbecki D-to-D pass behind his own net to Mahar. Mahar returns the favor. Fujita coming in to challenge Trimbecki. Trimbecki gets it all the way up to Hazard. He's got a one-on-one opportunity with speed. Hazard with a shot! And gloved down by Fulton. Hazard kind of cut through the crease, used the defenseman as a screen, and tried to catch Fulton off guard, but Fulton was up to the task. Flashed the leather, and we've once again got a stoppage. 5:05 remaining here in the second period. Cubs leading the Copperheads by a 3-1 margin. Armstrong out on the draw. Gobbled up there by McCulloch. He's hassled there by Geeky. Geeky throws the body and McCulloch moves it to Fujita. Fujita moves it up to Brogan Booth. Booth has to retreat deeper into his own zone as the Copperheads look to assert themselves. Booth up to Huguenon. Huguenon cross ice pass to McCulloch. And McCulloch is going to gain the zone for the Copperheads. Makes a nice move, puts it through the legs of Geeky, throws it to the front of the net, and Fujita with a brilliant redirect there, but Wakelam rises to the challenge and shuts that down. Beautiful passing play and a great save by Wakelam. Now it's Armstrong leading a 3-on-1 with the Cubs. He drops it over to Geeky, but Geeky is unable to do anything with it. And now Fujita going down 1-on-1 with Aitken, and that puck goes into the corner. Possession is gained by the Cubs. They get it into the neutral zone, and it's going to be Aitken with it now. He moves it up. Skating up the ice with it is Rylan Milo for the Copperheads. As he streaks down the right-hand side, throws a backhand pass at Wakelam. He comes back to Kennedy. Kennedy fires one, hits his own man in front, Creighton. Creighton turned around and fired that one on the net, but Wakelam was there. Copperheads looking very dangerous with possession here. Verloop threw it out front there and had a nice chance for the Copperheads as well. Oh, another shot from the point, a redirect, and Wakelam forced to step up and make a couple of saves. I believe Creighton got the redirected shot in there from Cade Degenstein. And the Medicine Hat rookie goaltender Tyler Wakelam had to be at the top of his game in order to settle that one down. And we've got another faceoff coming up here in the Cubs end of the ice. So Coaldale refusing to go quietly into this nice, warm southern Alberta night as they are putting on the pressure here in the late stages of the second period. With it now is Dreffs. Looks for his line mate, Hardy. Hardy streaking down the right-hand side, 2-0. He throws it out front to Dreffs. Dreffs all alone in front and perhaps celebrating the goal in his mind before he put it in, as that one just squeaked under his stick. A great opportunity there for the Cubs between Hardy and Dreffs. That's such a sturdy line. Each of the gentlemen on that line, Hardy, Dreffs, and Glasgow, all solid on their feet, all capable of inflicting physical punishment on their opponents when they're not scoring goals. So Mahar with it now behind his net. Ends up in the corner there. A battle for it. Coming out with it is Twig. He throws it out front, and another chance for the Copperheads. Twig got it out to Brindley Degenstein. Oh, and Degenstein takes exception to something, comes and dumps Hardy from behind. Hardy says, I'm not having any of that. And Kennedy, the captain for the Copperheads, comes in, and now he and Hardy are doing a tango behind the net. Hopefully cooler heads prevail here, but you would have to think Degenstein is going to get at least 2 minutes for that blind shot. Yeah, he's attempting to sneak off, but the linesman corrals him by the back of the jersey and says, why don't you just hang out here for a minute until we wait for the guys with the armbands to decide whether or not you get to go back to your bench or you take a quick stay in the penalty box. So at this time, cooler heads have prevailed. The refs have got things under control. And it is indeed number 5, Brindley Degenstein, heading to the box as he pleads his case, but it looks like he managed to take number 44, Jared Hardy, with him, as Hardy glances over at him and says, hey, we'll pick this back up when we get out of the penalty box. Hardy obviously taking exception to that hard and unnecessary cross-check in the back. Not sure what precipitated that, but that's the game of hockey. It's that one arena in life where outright aggression is still kind of welcome, and it plays out in interesting ways. As referee, I believe that's Chris Savage, is having a chit-chat with Degenstein in the box and just telling him maybe, hey, cool your jets. It could have been worse. So each side has a player in the box. They'll call them coincidentals, and we've got some 5-on-5 action about to get underway with the puck drop taking place just outside the Cubs zone. Won by the Cubs. Now it's Shaw with it. Shaw moves it up to Woolridge. Woolridge back to Wagner. Wagner, oh, with a nifty move to put it through the legs there, and the Cubs with a dangerous opportunity in front. Wagner chasing after it now. He gains possession in the neutral zone. Plays it back to Mahar, skips off his stick, and Wakelam is forced to come out and play it. Mahar now chips it off the glass through the neutral zone. Here comes Wagner, the big man, and they're going to call that one a glove hand pass. You just love to see a guy like Wagner gain steam. He's such a big player, and I'd hate to say it, I'd hate to be on the receiving end of anything that he decides to throw at you. Whether or not he's carrying the puck is irrelevant. That is a load of a player to handle. So it's Woolridge, Garrick, and Wagner up front for the Cubs. And they win the draw. Mahar gets it. And cross ice pass to Shaw. Shaw now lifts it into the neutral zone. Wagner there has it stripped off his stick as they continue to battle for it, and it ends up in the Cubs zone momentarily. Now it's Woolridge up to Garrick. Garrick moving his way. Drops it to Woolridge. It goes into his skates, and he's forced to try and make a play, tied up in there by Burns. Woolridge now with it behind the net. He looks out for Shaw. Shaw fires a shot just high and wide on the short side. Puck squirts out of the Copperhead zone into the neutral zone and back into the Copperhead zone as they gain possession. Kennedy now chips it up the ice into the neutral zone. Here comes Lazar, the big man for the Copperheads. He shoots, he scores. Lazar took that stretch pass from Kennedy, walked in and went top cheese on Wakelam, beat him over the glove side, and we've got a 1-goal game with 1:46 remaining in the second period. So the Copperheads showing some signs of life here, taking advantage of a quick pass up the ice by Kennedy, and we've got ourselves a 3-2 game. Interestingly, the referees continue to come over and talk to Degenstein in the penalty box. Not sure what's going on there. But regardless, shots 27-26 in favor of the Cubs. Score 3-2 in favor of the Cubs with 1:46 to go here in the second period. So again, that was Lazar. So the PA announcer, Matt St. Pierre, confirms it. That was Lazar from Kennedy. Cubs dangerous chance, responding down really quickly the other way, and it's blocked at the last moment by the Copperheads defenseman. Making his way across the Cubs line is Twig. He shoots it across the side, and a great opportunity there for Caden Hines, the leading scorer for the Copperheads, but he is denied as Wakelam flashes the leather and puts an end to that scoring chance. So late stages of the second period getting very interesting as the Copperheads definitely mounting an attack, looking to tie this thing up before they head into the final frame. Taking the draw there for the Cubs is Glasgow. He'll face off against the Copperheads' Twig. Puck is dropped and it comes back to McCulloch. He dumps it into the corner, And the Copperheads actually had a really nice set play there as they won the draw, got it deep into the corner, and tried to move it into the slot for a quick opportunity. Ultimately broken up by the Cubs. Now it's Twig with it. He loses it to King, and we're into the final minute of play here in the second period. Handled there by Wakelam. Now it's Shaw with it. Shaw with a long pass up to Glasgow. He's unable to control it initially, but he gains possession and was looking for drafts, but that's picked off in there by the Copperheads. Glasgow now gets it up ahead, and it's just bobbled around in the neutral zone, and it's number 6, Brogan Booth for the Copperheads, coming in and a shot by their leading scorer, Caden Hines, and that is turned aside by Wakelam. A little bit of rough stuff going on in the corner between the two leading scorers in this game, Caden Hines for the Copperheads, and number 21, Kyle Woolridge for the Cubs. So both those players leading their team in scoring, really right next to each other in the scoring race. Tied, I believe, for 7th and 8th in the league lead overall. So both those players dangerous offensively. Face-off won by the Cubs in their own zone, but possession is given up. Kennedy holds it in, but stealing that is Captain Callum Prasovsky. He streaks down the left-hand side, stops up at the ringette line, the hash marks, throws it across, and now it's Garrick with it in the corner for the Cubs. Garrick makes his way to the net. He's got it behind the net now. Looking for someone to give it to. Back to Mahar on the point. Mahar stops, recalibrates, and dumps it back into the corner. Hazard gently takes his man into the boards there, looking to avoid the boarding penalty, and he successfully does so as Prasovsky retreats into the neutral zone, and that brings to a close the second period. So, after 40 minutes of play, it's the Medicine Hat Cubs 3, the Coaldale Copperheads 2. Copperheads out shooting the Cubs 17 to 16 in that period. 28-27 overall in the game. And we'll take a break here and we will reconvene at the start. Joined here by Cubs head coach and GM Randy Wong. Randy, Cubs having a pretty great year. How would you rate your season success so far?
You know, it's been really good. It's been a fun year. Certainly the wins, losses, I think when we look at that, not a lot of losses, but I think the guys, it's been a good year in the sense that the work ethic is there. They get along really well, and it's just fun to be around them, and I think that's why you see a lot of success with the team.
Second half of the season, every game is against a South Division opponent. The standings are super tight, giving everything kind of a playoff feel. How do you keep your guys focused for that long?
Just that. It's a playoff feel every game. So, and we talked about that at Christmas time, that it's the South, it's the South versus the South for after post-Christmas there. And so you just got to make sure that you get the wins. Tonight was you look at probably a second round matchup, and now you're fighting for home ice. So again, you got little things to kind of push forward and give the guys some incentive to win games. So it's like we want home ice against, if we're going to have home ice in the second round, it's going to be against Coaldale probably. And so there's something to play for.
All right, talk a little bit about this Cubs' 50th season and what it means to be a part of that.
That was such an awesome day. When I look back at day one, we had the 50th anniversary. A ton of alumni were in the building, retiring Terry Bartman's jersey, having the alumni game. Like, it was such an electric day to start the year. Couldn't ask for anything perfect. So to be a part of it, honored to certainly be able to help host it. And, the tradition is strong here, and that shows with all the alumni that showed up that day.
Yeah, it was a great showing by the alumni, and you've been drawing pretty good crowds for just about every game. Just talk a little bit about the support you receive in the community, both from the fans and the sponsors.
Again, you can't ask for anything more. Like, the building's, 3/4 full, and so we're, that's better than what we've had in the last couple of years, and so we're building momentum, and that's what I feel like. The nights we're playing at home, there's kids involved, and we have the little novice games going. Sponsors have been there, the fans are coming out, and so we can only hope that continues as we get closer to playoffs.
All right, Randy, you've been a part of the hockey world for a fair bit of time. What is it that made you decide to come out and hop behind the bench and GM this Cubs team?
Well, I know a lot of kids, and I think at the time COVID kind of came in, and I think that the program, was struggling a little bit. And so I thought, it's a chance to kind of, again, give back a bit and help out some of the families that I've kind of, lately grown up and coaching. And so it was just a chance to be get involved in a great program. The tradition is strong here, and so it was like put put our hands and our feet and our whole body in and get this program reestablished. And I think it's been a real good fit the last 4 years. I think we've kind of changed the culture, and we've got a good program here, and I think, players want to come here now.
Couldn't agree more, Randy. We thank you for your time. Randy Wong, head coach and GM of the Medicine Hat Cubs. We're back here for some third period action at the Kinplex. This contest between the Medicine Hat Cubs and the Coaldale Copperheads. Cubs nursing a 3-2 lead here as we get set for the final frame. Good contest so far, back and forth, lots of chances, a couple big hits. Fortunately, no fights. Obviously, the Cubs a little shorthanded due to last game's efforts up in Okotoks. They've got 4 players, I believe, suspended from a end-of-the-game brawl in that affair. So, HJHL playoffs not too far around the corner now. Probably mid-February they'll get underway. Cubs looking to maintain their position in the standings. The first 2 teams, the top 2 teams in the Southern Division, are going to get a first-round playoff bye. And right now, the Okotoks Bisons are handily in front with a 28-3 record, 56 points. So they're going to occupy one of those spots, and that really leaves the Cubs and the Copperheads to battle for the other one. All right, we get set for the puck drop here. It's going to be Glasgow facing off against Drew Constant, and the Cubs win and fire it deep into the Coaldale zone. Hardy harassing the defender there, and the Cubs able to cause a turnover and momentarily gain possession. Battling for it behind the net there is Drefts. He strips Huguenot onto the puck, comes out with a chance. Oh, and goes just wide as Fulton turned aside that chance. Cubs looking dangerous early on here in the third period. Drefts had applied some pressure on Huguenot and forced him to cough up the puck, and the Cubs nearly capitalized. Shaw with it in his own zone, slides it across to King behind the Cubs net. Back to Shaw, he's forced to chase after it and held in at the line by Constant, but it'll be King bringing it across. He tries the cross-ice pass, that is broken up, and Huguenot gets it up to Lazar as the Copperheads make their way back into the Cubs zone. Lobbed on net by Constant, and Wakelam grabs that one and holds on for a whistle. 28-28 the shots here as we are just 1 minute into the third period in an excellent matchup here between the Medicine Hat Cubs and the Coaldale Copperheads from the Kinplex in Medicine Hat, Alberta. Aitken now off the draw, fires it up the boards, held in by Burns. No, Garrick strips it off him, and we've got a 2-on-1. Wagner and Garrick. Garrick opts for the shot and fires it high and wide on the blocker side of Fulton. Aitken now at the red line, dumps it back into the Copperhead zone. Fulton out to play it, but it's going to be Wagner against possession. He tosses it out front. Garrick with a redirect on net, and Fulton had to be sharp. Wagner kind of just blindly threw a backhand pass out front, and Garrick was there to jump on it. Redirected it on net, and Fulton lucky to come up with a good save there. I guess you got to be good to be lucky. Some excellent goaltending tonight by both squads. Woolridge takes the draw against Fujita, and it'll be the Cubs who gain possession. Aitken at the line. He looks to pass across, but instead fires it just wide of the net. Comes to Mahar. He dumps it back in. And chasing in after it is Bruns, Kennedy, and Woolridge. Kennedy gets it, fires it all the way down the ice, and that will indeed be icing face-off coming up again in the Coaldale end.
Here we go again.
So plenty of fans on hand for this matchup. Once again, the Coaldale Copperheads, the club's closest rival geographically, so no love lost between these two squads, that's for sure. Off the draw, McCallum fires it up the boards, and it's Bruns for the Copperheads. He gets around Aitken, 2-on-1 opportunity. He fires it at the net, and Aitken was, I'm not sure which Cubs defenseman was laid out and kind of went headfirst in the boards, and Bruns tripped over top of him. So Bruns toppled heavily over him, but it was Mahar who went kind of headfirst into the boards. He gets up and he's looking like he's going to be okay, but that's one thing about this game, you know, when you put men on skates and ice and they start flying around, and if you lose control, it can be such a physically unforgiving game, but good to see Mahar get up under his own power and make his way to the bench. Off the draw, puck in deep behind the Cubs goal line. Comes up to Carrier at the ringette line. He tosses it through the middle to Hazard. That one's broken up. Now it's King with it in the Cubs zone. He shoots it across ice, and Carrier can't contain that one. Trembecki back into the Cubs zone with it. Picks it up to himself and dumps it through into the neutral zone, just trying to get it out of his own end. And he finds himself in possession of it again. He's being harassed there by Bruns. Quick move by Trembecki to get it across ice. Prasovsky chasing after it. He manages to beat out the icing call. Battle for it along the boards, and it looks like Fujita is going to gain it. Slides it over to Kennedy. Kennedy now behind his own goal line, moves it up to Booth. Booth throws it into the middle of the ice for Bruns. Bruns going in 1-on-2. Takes a shot, and that one's deflected off a Cubs stick and bounces onto the back of the netting of the Cubs net. And the refs will call that down, and we'll have a face-off in the Cubs zone. So as mentioned, the Heritage Junior Hockey League playoffs not that far away, so if you happen to be watching this game on Rogers, I have to tell you, come on out and join the crowd here at the Kimplex. It's only $10 for adults, $5 for students and seniors, and kids under 12 get in free. So really, if you're looking to take in some local hockey action at a pretty good level, this is a great affordable night out. Cubs struggling to clear their zone, held in there by Degenstein, number 5 for the Coaldale Copperheads. Twig now battling with Shaw for it along the boards. Degenstein regains possession momentarily. Back down to Twig below the goal line. He throws a backhand out front, broken up there by Geeky. McCullum helps it in at the zone, and the net is pushed off. Shaw having some words with Degenstein. Degenstein seems like a Brad Marchand type, eager to cause a disruption whenever is possible. So the net comes off, and somebody's going to be getting penalized here. And it looks like number 5, Brindley Degenstein's number is being called again, and we've got an interference call coming up. Nobody is willingly going over to the box, but the penalty box door for the Copperheads is eventually opened, and once again, Brindley Degenstein finds himself sitting for 2 minutes or less. So an untimely penalty. As a coach, you hate to see players taking penalties 200 feet from their own net, but that's exactly what has occurred, and the Medicine Hat Cubs will once again go to the power play. They've been successful once tonight already on it. So out there for the Cubs to try and build on this lead, Garrick, Prasovsky, and Woolridge with Shaw and Aitken joining them on the point. Garrick gains possession on the half wall, dumps it into the corner where Prasovsky is battling with McCulloch down low. Woolridge now joins the fray. And it squirts loose, and Prasovsky gains possession of it. He's being hassled there. McCulloch gets a stick on it, fires that one all the way down into the Cubs' end. Wakelam comes out of his net to play it. Gathering it up now is Aitken. He sets up behind his own net as the Cubs regain their composure and break out of their zone. Defenseman Jamal Shaw up on the right-hand side. He's chasing into it now. He's looking to gain possession in the offensive zone, and he does. Leaves it for Woolridge just inside the line. Woolridge, ever dangerous, takes it to the net. Chance here for the Cubs. Krasovsky can't get any wood on that one, and it's slipped back into the Cubs zone. 1:02 remaining here in the Cubs power play as Shaw gathers the puck up behind his own net. The Cubs once again break out in formation. Shaw moving it up the left-hand side. Evades a check. Steps around Constant and trying to gain possession. Gets it to Glasgow behind the net. Glasgow over to Hardy. Hardy harassed in there by Huguenon. There's a pile up in the corner. Huguenon's got it. He attempts to chip it out, but Glasgow seals it up and holds the puck into the zone. Digging around, and then all 3 Cubs forwards with Mahar and Trembecki on the point, waiting for that puck to come out. They battle for it. Huguenon with a chance, but it ends up back in the pile. Now Huguenon again with another chance, and this time he decides to just tie it up. And we've got lots of bodies grinding and gnashing, attempting to get that puck. Hardy after Constant. Constant tries to clear, held in at the line by Trembecki. Trembecki throws it back into the zone. Hardy with it behind the net, just throws a backhand out front, and now it's Glasgow on the wall. He's got it. Harassed over there by Lazar. Lazar with a chance to clear, and he does so. Gets it across the line, and that will conclude Degenstein's penalty as he steps back out onto the ice. Mahar, Hardy, and Drefts battling for it along the boards, but it's Degenstein who gains possession. Back to Huguenon. Huguenon across to Kennedy. He throws a long pass up the ice, and gaining possession is Lazar. Lazar losing it, but then Degenstein now with it. Fans on a chance, and he's taken hard into the boards by Trembecki. Carrier, Trembecki, and Mahar battling forward in that pile, outnumbering the Copperheads, and the Cubs do gain possession. Wagner redirects a pass out into the neutral zone. Too hot for Carrier to handle, though. And Wagner just decides to plow his way through a couple of players. Coming back the other way, the leading scorer for the Copperheads, Hines, rips a hard shot. So his initial shot was blocked on the way through, but he gained possession again and fired another one that went up into the netting. So we're going to have a stoppage of play, face-off coming into the Cubs' end with 13:59 remaining here in the third period. Cubs ahead by a 3-2 margin, looking to put to an end a short 2-game losing streak, most recent one of those being a 4-1 loss to the Okotoks Bison. So off the face-off, it's McKellick with a shot. That gets through traffic, and looking for a redirect in front was Hines, but turning it aside was Wakelam. Cubs gaining some steam, getting it out into the neutral zone, briefly into the Copperhead zone, but now here it's Verloop and Twig on for a 2-on-1, and that one is broken up at the last second by the Cubs defender. Cubs not out of trouble yet. Here's Twig with another chance, and that gets redirected aside. Wagner now with it. Wagner plays it off the glass into the neutral zone, chasing after it is Carrier. He's looking to harass Hines. He forces the turnover. Hazard with a chance. It goes towards the net, and the Cubs just missing there an opportunity to go up 4-2. Patey sealing off the wall, coming in and throwing a check. Puck comes out front, and now it's Hines moving it out for the Copperheads. He just elects to dump it in, and chasing after it is Shaw. Shaw with a quick pass up to Patey. Patey tries to go across to Armstrong. That one's broken up by Hines. Hines with possession now. Comes over to Creighton. He takes a shot and just fires that one into the netting. I don't believe it was directed, so it face-off may be coming outside, but we'll have to have a quick look here and see. So 12:56 here to go in the third period. Cubs trailing 31-29 in shots, but leading 3-2 in the score. Kennedy now dumps it in on net for Wakelam. Wakelam plays it off to the side where Mahar moves it across to Dreffs. Dreffs loses possession there on the sidewall, but Shaw regains it. Dumps it into the neutral zone, but there is Degenstein, Cade Degenstein, another Degenstein, to dump it back in for Coaldale. A rowdy bunch of fans here making some noise, attempting to get some of the prizes that the Cubs are offering tonight. Mahar into Glasgow. Glasgow fires one in. That's blocked up in gummed up middle by the Copperheads. And now we've got a whistle for a hand pass. Referee Chris Savage calling a hand pass. That's going to take the face-off outside as Coaldale looking to tie this one up and force at minimum an extra frame. This game's so important in the standings. These two teams jockeying for that second spot. Currently in possession of the Cubs by virtue of winning percentage. Across the line, here comes Creighton. Hands it off to Lazaro. He quickly one-times that, and it's blockered away by Wakelam. A great save there by the Cubs goaltender. Dumped back into the Cubs zone. Aitken being harassed in there by Milo. Milo finishes his check on Aitken. Aitken all the way up to Glasgow. Glasgow with a shot. That one goes a few feet wide of the net. And it comes into the neutral zone where Aitken battles with Milo for it. And the puck ends up in the bench of the Copperhead. So we'll have a neutral zone face-off here. 11:50 remaining here in the third period. Cubs leading the Coaldale Copperheads 3-2. An exciting contest, good chances both ways as Woolridge takes the draw, but it's the Copperheads who gain possession. With the puck in his own zone now is Burns. Burns, D-to-D pass to Kennedy, back to Burns. Burns chips it up the wall, but it's stolen there by Garrett. Garrett gets to Woolridge. Woolridge with a chance, and Fulton turns that aside. Wagner now with it on the boards. Garrett holds it in at the blue line. Kennedy for the Copperheads just fires it into neutral zone where it's gathered up by Trembecki. Trembecki stick handles and passes it up to Woolridge. Woolridge with it now. Gives it to Garrett. There's three of them across the line into the Coaldale zone. Broken up there. And here comes Kobe Fujita for the Coaldale Copperheads. Flying down the left-hand side, waiting for assistance. Brogan Booth takes that centered pass and does a nice soft touch deflection there, just using the toe of his stick to redirect it, and nearly got it past Wakelam, but just outside the net. Woolridge survives a check from McCulloch and gets it into the Copperhead zone. Behind his own net is Huguenon. Huguenon looking to move it out. Moves it up to McCulloch on the half wall. McCulloch cross-ice pass broken up by King. Great anticipation by King. He makes a nice little move and gets it into the Copperhead zone, but that's broken up. So they battle it back and forth. Finally, it's King who gets it, and he just dumps it into the Copperhead zone. Chasing after is Huguenon. He's pestered there by Carrier. And now it's Verloop. That pass broken up. Here we go, Carrier into the offensive zone for the Cubs. Looking for somebody to give it to instead. Just rips it over the top of the net. And look out, we've got Verloop in on a partial break, but great play by Mahar to get back and break that up. Constant with a chance in there. Captain Krasovsky comes in, lifts his stick, and moves that away, but it's Mahar with it now behind his own net with the puck. Mahar comes out from the goal line, tosses that one off the glass over the stick of Hazard in the neutral zone, and the Copperheads will gain possession. Moving down with it is Verloop. They've got numbers in the offensive zone. Lazar now with it in the corner for the Copperheads. Back to Verloop. And broken up there by Krasovsky, but a shot comes on net there by the Copperheads. Number 19, Drew Constant, before Carrier can gather it up and carry it into the neutral zone. He just chips it in where Captain Kennedy for the Copperheads has it. Tosses it up, and here's Lazar now. Lazar and Constant across the line. Broken up, and here comes Patey for the Cubs. 2-on-2 the other way. Patey with a nice move, goes outside, and is ultimately stopped before losing his control on his skates there. Dumped into the Copperhead zone by the Cubs, played off into the corner to Kennedy by the goaltender Fulton. Kennedy rims it around, and it comes out to the neutral ice area. Trembecki is there to stop it and dump it back in. Degenstein across to Kennedy, up to Hines. Hines looking for something, rips a hard shot on Wakelam, trying to catch him off guard there. He really didn't have possession for long, but he just fired that one on net. And with 8:53 remaining, we have hit the media timeout period of the third period. So Coaldale pouring it on here in the third, jumping out to a 35-31 lead in the shots on goal, but it's the Cubs who maintain the 1-goal margin, ahead 3-2 as we approach the final 9 minutes of this contest. As I said, a well-attended event. The fans are well represented. The stands are full. And we encourage you to come out and support the Medicine Hat Cubs. Once again, tickets just $10 for adults, $5 for students and seniors, and kids 12 and under get in free. So if you're looking to entertain a minor hockey team, it only takes one parent to pay, and you can bring in the whole gang. So after the timeout concludes, it looks like we're going to have a face-off to the left-hand side of Wakelam in the Cubs zone. Once again, the Cubs leading 3-2 late in this contest, looking to hold on and jump into sole possession of second place in the South Division. Twig out to take the draw against Glasgow. Glasgow wins the draw. Aitken recovers for the Cubs, and they'll look to break out of their own zone. Aitken throws it up the neutral ice area, and it's Drefts beating out the icing call. Impressive play there, as the Cubs just kind of dumped it down the ice and hoped for the best, and it was Drefts who would manage to get the jump on the Coaldale defender and beat out that icing call. Battling for it along the board is Drefts. He comes out of the pile with it. Harassed there by Twig, and ultimately it's the Copperheads who gain control. Now it's Huguenon throwing it into the neutral zone for Hines. Turned over, and Trembecki shoots it back up the wall to Drefts. Drefts has Hardy streaking towards the net. Hardy with it now. Hardy shoots, and it looks like that one goes off the side of the net. It comes out front, and the Cubs with a glorious opportunity, but unable to get it past Fulton. Puck just bouncing around dangerously there in the slot in front of the net, but the Cubs unable to capitalize. Drefts now with it behind the net, throws it out front, and the Cubs have another opportunity here, but Fulton standing tall, doing the splits, and keeping his team in it. Hines now coming down 1-on-2 for the Copperheads, throws a blind backhand pass into the middle of the ice and gets crushed for his efforts. Now it's Aitken going in for the Cubs. He wanders in and fires one atop the net there, over the goaltender's head and off the back glass. Things slow down a little bit here as the Copperheads regain their composure. King now, cross-ice patch to Aitken in the Cubs zone, up to Woolridge through the neutral zone. Woolridge deflects that into the Copperhead zone and chases after it there. Gains possession, throws it up front. Garrick scores! And just like that, The Cubs have regained their 2-goal lead. Woolridge skated in, stole the puck off McCulloch, threw a backhand pass out front, and when you know it's his line mate Garrick there to tuck it in, he gains his 15th goal of the season, and the Cubs have got a 4-2 lead with 7:27 remaining in the third period. So, some touch-and-go moments there. The Cubs fending off a chance, coming very close to scoring on their own, and ultimately it's Caleb Garrick, assisted by his line mate and team leading point getter Kyle Woolridge, who puts the club up 4-2. Oh, a pass coming through the neutral zone just explodes Woolridge's stick. Oh, and a shot by Wagner squeaks through and nearly goes in. The Cubs just about had a 3-goal lead. King gains possession, dumps it into the zone for the Cubs. Back in the Copperheads net, and they get it through the neutral zone, and now it's Garrick trying to do something with it. Garrick is harassed there by Kennedy and turns it over. Copperheads are pulling at all the stops now, trying to get back into this one. They trail by 2 with 6:40 to go. Fulton out from behind his net to play it. He clears it around to Brogan Booth. Brogan Booth up the middle for Milo. Carrier steps up and disrupts him. But it's Creighton gaining possession into the Cubs zone. He's taken into the boards by 2 different Cubs, and there's a pile up in the corner. As they attempt to gain possession here, Trembecki knocks over his man. Battling back and forth, Trembecki fires it up, but it's held in at the point by 24, Adam Kennedy, and shot right at the net, and a dangerous chance there for the Copperheads. Prasovsky now tries to clear, but McCulloch stuffs it back into the Cubs zone. Carrier now with a nice backhand play, relieves the pressure, just dumps it into the neutral zone, and everybody will reset. Shaw with it now in his own zone, makes a long pass, broken up, but it gets through to Carrier. Carrier slides the backhand pass to Prasovsky, and he redirects it on, and a great chance there, turned aside by Fulton, back out front. The Cubs showing some offensive prowess now, really looking dangerous in the Coaldale end. Carrier with it, cycles it down for Hazard. Hazard throws it to the middle of the ice. Carrier looking for that return pass. A shot by Aitken, but that one's redirected. Cubs looking to add to their 2-goal lead here late in this frame with just 5 minutes and 22 seconds to go. Turned over in their own zone there by the Copperheads. It's Hazard who comes up with it. He tries to fire it towards the net. Chasing in after it is Patey. Patey and Armstrong. Armstrong avoids a huge hit from Lazar, and the Cubs will get possession of it here in the neutral zone. Mahar steps up. He's turned aside by Lazar. Lazar now, he's trying to move down the ice, but it's going to be Patey on a breakaway. All alone, Lazar coming back. Patey with a shot. Turned aside by Fulton. Some back and forth action here as Coaldale really has to go for it. They're trailing by 2, so expect to see some odd man chances and opportunities for the Cubs. Now moving in 1-on-4 is Ryland Bruns, and he is brought down by Mahar with a textbook check. And Geeky tying up Bruns now behind the goal line. Another pile up behind there. Coming away with it is Verloop. Verloop looking for somebody. Shoots it to Fujita. Fujita with a shot turned aside by Wakelam. Battling for it is Patey. Patey and Verloop battle along the boards. It squeaks out across the blue line and into the neutral zone, where Heath Geeky is now being harassed by Kennedy. Verloop with a pass up to Fujita. Fujita through to the middle of the ice. Verloop regains possession. Copperheads looking to get this one within 1. But instead it's Aitken who gains possession. Aitken cross-ice pass up to Drefts, a little too high and hard for him. And it's going to be an icing with 3:58 remaining here in the third period. So the chances really picking up for both teams. Coaldale having to go for broke here as they trail by 2. Cubs leading 4-2 with just under 4 minutes to go in the third, and ahead 37-36 on the shot clock. So an impressive performance for both goalies here, both gonna improve their save percentage after tonight's contest. Off the draw, it's King battling Verloop in the corner. Now Glasgow and Constant. There's a 4-man pileup with Aitken waiting to see which way the puck comes out. And Aitken gains possession behind his own net now. Aitken looking for the cross-ice pass up to Hardy, just a little too far for him. And once again, we're gonna have an icing call. So the Cubs looking to make that stretch pass a couple of times here, but no luck hitting tape to tape. And they'll have to endure another face-off in their own zone. 3:37 now remaining here in the third period. The fans here at the Kinplex being treated to an excellent afternoon contest. In to take the draw is Glasgow versus Constant. Glasgow wins it, but it's going to be cleared out. And now it's Hardy streaking down the left-hand side. He's being monitored there by Kennedy. Hardy with a bit of a move. Gains possession, maintains possession in the Copperhead zone. It comes out front awkwardly to the front there. I believe that was Cade Degenstein who attempted to glove it ahead and whiffed on it. And Caden Fulton had to be on the spot to grab that one and settle things down here. You don't want to be taking too many chances if you're already trailing, as the Copperheads are. Woolridge, Garrick, and Wagner up front with Trembecki and King for the Cubs as they attempt to hold on to this 2-goal lead late in the third. 3:15 to go. Woolridge with it in the neutral zone, fires it in deep. Fulton out to play it. Fulton backhands it across to Huguenon. Huguenon over to McCulloch. McCulloch now with it. Makes an attempted stretch pass up to Twig, broken up there by Shaw. Shaw with it in his own zone. Skates behind his own net, chips it off the wall. But it's turned over, and it's McCulloch who's got it now for the Copperheads. Digging forward is Garrick. Garrick now with possession. Chips it off the side wall and into the Copperhead zone, but only momentarily. Now Trembecki, it's his turn, and he dumps it in. Back for the Copperheads is Twig. Twig setting up. Backhand pass across to Huguenon. Huguenon being chased by Woolridge. Huguenon gets it up to Booth. He nearly turns it over but regains possession. Booth now looking for someone, anyone to pass to, and Wagner ties him up and steals it off him. A battle of big boys as they go to the corner. Wagner makes a move, tries to get to the front of the net. Ultimately, Booth comes away with it. Now it's McCulloch looking for someone to give it to, and offside for the Copperheads, so they need to retreat. Carrier just dumps it in on net, forces Fulton to play it. And it's Kennedy now for the Copperheads. Dumps it into the neutral zone. Coming across to Hines, the ever-dangerous Hines. Rims it around, but it's going to be the Cubs who are able to redirect that into the neutral zone. Time running out here for the Copperheads. Just 1:50 left on the clock. The net is empty, and Tyler Wakelam tries his chance at a empty net goal. It appeared to go off of McCulloch, so I don't know why that is being ruled an icing, but Wakelam attempted to go for a goalie goal there. The fans would love to see that. In any event, it is ruled an icing, and the faceoff's going to be back in the Cubs zone. 1:46 to go. The net is empty for the Copperheads. They've got 6 attackers out there. Lazar in the slot with company. Now it's Hazard for the Cubs, looking to clear it, but he has the stick lifted at the last moment by a Copperhead. Hines now throws it out front to Lazar with a backhand. He spins around, chance, just shoots it wide. And it's into the neutral zone. Captain Kellen Prasovsky, he was held up there, but he's going to get an empty netter. Prasovsky, he gets his 13th of the season to make it a 5-2 game, and surely that's got to be it. The Cubs now with a 3-goal lead with just 1:26 remaining. It's looking more and more like the Cubs are going to be starting a new streak. This one, a W, and they're going to move to sole possession of second place in the South Division. As after this game, it looks like they are going to have a 22-5-4 record and occupy that second spot with 48 points. Way to go, Kellen Prasovsky, fighting off a holding attempt by the Copperheads to dump that one into the empty net and give the Cubs a 3-goal lead. Huguenon with it now for the Copperheads. Desperation time. Huguenon takes it into the corner, tries to throw it out front. It comes back into the corner. Held in by Caden Degenstein at the line. He rims it around. Patey there for the Cubs is able to get a stick on it, but not enough to control it. The Copperheads still looking dangerous here, but they are running out of time. Fulton's back in net for them, and maybe they've accepted their fate. It is a 3-goal lead they're attempting to overcome here in the final minute. Braden Patey just killing time now, moves it back to Mahar. Mahar looking around. He moves it further backward to Aitken. Aitken with it now, just bangs it off the boards to Drefts. Drefts with the intelligent dump in. And Hardy now, he's just going to look to swallow up some time. No, he throws it out front to Drefts. Drefts with a glorious opportunity, blockered away by Fulton. Nearly a 6-4 game there. It looked like Hardy was just going to maybe kill some time with that along the boards, and instead he threw a sneaky little backhand pass out front, and Drefts nearly put that one into the net. Mahar now just looking to kill the rest of the time. Gets it to Aitken. Aitken is stripped of it, and Verloop turns it over. Mahar gains possession. He's fully content to just hold it against the boards. And Ryland Bruns, with a bit of sportsmanlike play, says, hey, this one's in the books. There's no need to battle. And just like that, the Medicine Hat Cubs have come away with a 5-2 victory over the Coaldale Copperheads here at the Kimplex in Medicine Hat. So with the loss, the Coaldale Copperheads fall to 22-9-2 on the year. They retain that 46 points and third place in the South Division Conference that they came in with. Their win streak is halted at 2 games. The Cubs, meanwhile, 21-22, 5-4 on the season now, holding sole possession of second place in the Heritage Junior Hockey League South Division, trailing only the Okotoks Bisons. And more importantly, in sole possession of second place means they are currently looking at a second round bye should the playoffs begin today. So the fans here at the Kimplex treated to a great afternoon of hockey as the hometown team salutes the fans with their sticks in the air. And that'll do it for myself and cameraman David G. Here on Rogers TV today. We were very excited to bring you this Heritage Junior Hockey League game between the Medicine Hat Cubs and the Coaldale Copperheads. Once again, my name is Tim Mahan, and we'll see you next time for some excellent HJHL. All right, joined here by Cubs goaltender Tyler Wakelam. Tyler, a 34 save performance here, great performance here. Just talk about today's victory over the Coaldale Copperheads and what that means for you guys.
Oh yeah, today's win was huge. You know, they're right behind us in the standings. You know, we're trying to catch a couple teams ahead of us too, so the points today were huge for us.
The second half of the schedule, it's all South Division versus South Division teams. Do you like that? Does it give every game kind of a playoff atmosphere?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, the rivalries definitely heat up a little bit, and the competition is a lot greater here in the South, so makes our game a little tougher every night out. So.
Okay, this is your first year with the Cubs. How did you kind of get found, and just tell us a little bit about your hockey career prior to arriving?
Yeah, you know, I just worked my way up playing minor hockey here in Medicine Hat, and just as the minor hockey career ended, it's time to move on to junior, and Cubs are a great place to play here in Medicine Hat, so it's a good, perfect spot for me.
You share the nets with another goaltender, and it was originally a 3-man rotation. Are you feeling pretty confident about the 2 that are remaining here as you guys head into playoff time?
Yeah, it's great. You know, we all had a great relationship, and you know, like you said, it's down to 2 now, but you know, we're still working our things out, and we find a way to get the job done, both of us, every night, so it's great.
Is there any animosity when somebody else gets the start, or are you guys kind of rah-rah and you're good buddies no matter what?
No, it's all good. We love each other, you know, we have a very good bond, you know. We always got our celly at the end of the game, you know, always looking forward to that, so always cheering on each other, that's for sure.
All right, final question. Playoffs are just around the corner. What's it going to take for you guys to be successful and go all the way in your 50th season?
Oh, I think we're going to have to play hard, you know. With a lot of depth through the lineup, you know, we're going to have to play. All 20 guys are going to have to show up every night, you know. Can't just be taking a couple shifts off here and there because that will really hurt us, so, yeah.
All right, Tyler Wakelam gained the W for the Cubs in tonight's contest. Thank you for your time.
Perfect, thank you.